Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I am Chiranjeev Bhaumik. Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible? Okay. You can unmute it when you want. It's not that you have to mute it every time. Okay. So I am Chiranjeev Bhaumik. I am currently a Prime Minister Research Fellow in the School of Medical Science and Technology, IIT Kharagpur. So I have joined IIT Kharagpur in 2018, and since the past years, I have been doing research in the field of medical AI, particularly in medical imaging, medical signal processing, and a bit of computational biology. I come from a background of like electronics. I have done my BTech in electronics and communication engineering, and after my BTech, I have joined PhD. So I would also like to know about your background, like if you all can introduce, it would be easy for me to conduct the class in the smooth manner. I would like to know your background. Anyone? It's better to make the class interactive, isn't it? It should not be a monologue. Like it's not that I should only speak. Everyone should speak, and it's like you can speak whatever you want. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Nice. Okay. Fine. And your BTech is in? What's your BTech in? Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. 5 years integrated course. Yeah. Got it. So others, I would like to know about you too. If you could introduce yourself. It's not properly. Like I can't hear you properly. Yes. 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 It's better. It's better. Okay, madam. Like, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Exactly. Exactly. So, like, as I think everyone has seen the contents for that course, like in week one, I think everyone has seen the lectures for week one, isn't it? Okay, fine. So in week one, if you see, there are three lectures basically. So the first lecture is Introduction to Signals and Systems in General. So I guess everyone is from either electronics or electrical background. So it would be very easy for them to grasp this concept because they have already done a preliminary concepts or study on signal and system. So basically, we'll study what was done in that course was like basics of signals, basics of systems, then various systems that we have like linear system, time invariant system, causal versus non-causal system. So we have studied about various systems in general. At the same time, after that, there was the topic was convolution, which was taught, and then there was the topic of impulse response and starting, and then LTI systems. In week two, there was basically a math lab demonstration on moving average filter mostly, and at the same time, various other types of signals were also demonstrated. And week three is a very different lecture. It's a very interesting lecture. Week three is about the clean room facility, about the do's and don'ts. I request everyone to kindly see all these lectures. So it will be easy, and I request everyone so that everyone will be in pace with the course. Okay. So today, basically, See, this is the first week. So basically, I have given my introduction and I have prepared some set of slides and codes. So I will like to share it with you. At the same time, for week 2, you can give me suggestions that what type of things are you liking? Like, are you interested in mainly numerical solving or you are interested in the coding part? So accordingly, I can prepare their course. Okay, I can prepare the content. So let me start then. So is my screen visible to everyone? Can is my slides are my slides visible? Is it? Hello? Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So as I said before, I am Chiranjeev Bhaumik. I am currently a PMRF fellow in the School of Medical Science and Technology, IIT Kharagpur, and this is the week 1 for the course. So let us know, or obviously you all know, but let us have a rough idea again. What is a signal? So signals are actually mathematical functions of one or more independent variables that may carry some information. So signals can be of various types. If I talk defining signals based on the source, there can be various types. So the most common one is the biosignal. So in biosignal, there are like various types and differentiations. For example, there can be signaling between the two cells, and we can call them as cell signaling. There can be functionality, or there can be distribution of information between the two neurons. At the same time, there can be bioelectric signals like we have ECG, we have electroencephalogram, etc. At the same time, we also know about antenna, so how it carries signals and what does it do. Okay, as the scope of this subject is mainly focused on the biological part, so let us understand what are bioelectric signals in general. So what are bioelectric signals? These are very low amplitude and low frequency electrical signals that can be measured from human. So there are various types of biosignals, that is the electroencephalogram that measures the electrical activity of the brain, the electrocardiogram that measures the electrical activity of the heart, the electromyogram that measures the electrical activity of the muscles, electroretinogram that measures the electrical activity of the retina, electrogastogram that measures the electrical activity of the cells present in the smooth muscles and the intestine, and the galvanic skin response, which measures the continuous variation in electrical responses in the skin. We can see that we have two figures. One is the figure of a ECG curve, that's an electrocardiogram graph, and evident in the figure that ECG is more of a periodic, or we can say non-jittery graph. At the same time, electroencephalogram signal EEG is more kind of a jittery random signal, as evident in the two figures. So the things that we talked about were bioelectric signals in general. So if you see the week 1 lecture, sir has described about the types of signals. So these are the very generalistic type, not biological or something. So basically we can divide signals into two types. One is continuous signal. So what is a continuous signal? Continuous signal is an infinite, uncountable set of numbers as the possible values each number can have. Whereas in a discrete signal, the number of elements in a set are fixed or countable. So in figure 5, you can understand the first signal, the first sinusoid is a continuous one. And the next one is and the second graph is that of a discrete one. Okay. So basically, we will check out some fundamental signals and then go for some MATLAB course. So what is a unit step function? A unit step function can be defined as, we know that ut is equals to 1 for t greater than or equals to 0, and it's 0 otherwise. Okay, so this is a unit step function. 1 second. Yeah. So this is a unit step function as described. Yes. So unit step function can be defined as where the function is 1 for t greater than equals to 0 and is 0 otherwise. So the first graph is for a continuous unit step, and the second one is for a discrete unit step signals. So let us look into some MATLAB codes and then try to understand this signal in a better manner, because this is a very fundamental signal and is extremely helpful in understanding the signals and systems as a whole. So is my MATLAB snippet visible? I think it is, isn't it? Is it visible, my MATLAB snippet? Okay, fine. Uh, so this is a very simple code. For example, if I think you all know MATLAB and have worked on MATLAB, so this will be very preliminary codes that will be for you. And for example, if anyone is learning MATLAB, that will it will help them a lot. Okay, uh, so this is a simple code for plotting a sine curve that I have written. So the first line where I have written t is equals to lean space minus pi to pi 10,000. This means that obviously, obviously what we want is, obviously we want a two-dimensional signal. A sine curve is a two-dimensional signal. Obviously, a sine curve is a two-dimensional signal. So the one space is the, or if it's a two-dimensional signal, so y is the amplitude and t is the time. So the time stamp can be differentiated or can be written in this manner. Ultimately means minus pi to pi 10,000 means we will have 10,000 points between the two range, that is minus pi, that is minus 22 by 7 you can say, and pi, that is 22 by 7. So we'll have 10,000 points between them, and ultimately what we want is we want to plot the values at those points. So the function, so the if we write plot t comma y, this will give you a continuous curve. Okay, and if you write this as stem of t comma y, you will get a discrete curve. I can plot it and show you, and obviously you can understand what is the meaning of x label and y label. X label is the label of the x-axis and y label is the label of the y-axis. Okay, so let us run this code. So this is the graph we are getting. You can see that it's a sinusoidal curve, and it's a continuous curve because this is running for plot. The plot function will give you a continuous curve. Now, for example, if I run this same code using just stem function, if you just plot this using stem function, see, you will get a sinusoidal curve. At the same time, we will get discrete points here. So these are the differences between these two functions, plot and stem. And this code will ultimately tell you, will ultimately help you to plot curves. So ultimately, whatever curve you want to plot, you just have to change the function and you can plot it. Okay, so let us first look into a custom unit step function. Okay, this is the code written for, this is actually a function written for the unit step that we have discussed just now. So I think everyone remembers what is the unit step. So unit step is a function which will have the value of 1 for t greater than or equal to 0, and it will have a value 0 for t less than 0. So this is the custom function that we have written. So this function will take three values. one is a, b and c as parameters, and it will give us y. Y is actually the unit step function. For example, you want to plot this curve. You want to plot un for range that is between -5 to 5. Okay, so this is the range you want to this is the range for which you want to plot the unit step function. So here what is a? A is -5, that is the starting range, and b is 5, that's the ending range, and c is equals to 0. C is a parameter which will help us to plot for signals, like for example you want to plot unit step for u equal to n minus 2, that is for shifted signal. At that time you have to put the value of c equal to. Here, as we want to plot the value for un, we don't want any shifted signal, so c is equals to 0. Okay, so if you see this function, so what we have, n is equals to a comma b. For example, if a is equals to -5 and b equals to 5, so n is equals to a range of numbers from -5 to 5, and a1 is equal to absolute value of a. Absolute, everyone knows what is the meaning of absolute value. So absolute of -5 is equals to 5. So what is the output y? The output y is equals to zeros. Zeros still, that is from, we want zeros from -5 to -1, and we want ones from the point 0 to +5. So if you read the code, it is written in this manner: zeros of 1 comma a1 plus c, 1 comma a1 plus c, a1 plus c here is 5. So we want a one dimensional array of 1 cross 5, which will be zeros from the point -5 to 1 -1, and then ones of 1 comma b minus c plus 1, that is 1 from 6 places, means ultimately we will have ones from the point 0 to the point 5. So this is the function. I will actually give you all these codes. You can check it out and then run these things for your simplicity, for simplicity purpose. Okay. So this is the custom function. Now let us try to run some functions. Okay. So for example, let us try to run this function, that is un is equals to -5 to 5. So we want to run, we want to plot the value for un. Okay. So the extreme point should be -5. This should be +5, and as we are not doing any shift, we are plotting for un, so we are not doing any shift, so it will be 0. So now let us plot this. So you can see the value is 0 from -5 to -1, and it is 1 from 1 to +5. So this is the result that we require. And obviously you can make your graphs looks better, like using various parameters like labeling, like x label, y label, that you can do accordingly. Now for example, you want to plot the graph for this function, that is unit step, but a shifted unit step. So here what you have, the range, the a, that is the initial range is -10. So replace this value by -10. The ending range, the ending value is +10, and you wanted and this is c is equals to 2, because the value the un minus 2 will be equal to 1 for n greater than or equal to 2, otherwise it will be 0. So let's put here 2, and now let's plot this function. So you see, this is the thing that we want. So this is un minus 2. Un minus 2 is 1 for greater than or equal to 2, and is 0 otherwise. Okay. So these are the things. You can make some various modifications, like for example you can use functions like x label, like for example x label, what is x? X is time, isn't it? So put it time. And y label, so let's put it amplitude. So this is amplitude. Okay, and for example, you want some grades in your graph, so you just write grade on. Right, now let's plot it. Just here you can see time, you can see amplitude, at the same time you can also see the grades. So you can also give a title to your curve using the function title, so that you can customize and then do it for, which may make your graph look better. Okay, so let us continue with our discussion. uh, So we have checked what is a unit step function. We have studied about unit step. So the next thing is a unit impulse function. So what is a unit impulse function? Remember, this is for a discrete impulse function. So a unit impulse function can be defined as it is equal to 1 for t greater than 0 or n greater than 0, whatever you want, and is 0 otherwise. So it will have a value of 1 only at a specific point and it will be 0 elsewhere. So this is a unit impulse function. So let us also check its functionality. I have also written a custom unit impulse function to for better demonstration purpose. So this is the function. I mean, actually MATLAB, to the best of my knowledge, I think MATLAB do not have inbuilt unit step and impulse function. So this is the reason I have made that. Okay, it's a very simple code. Uh, so similar like the unit step, unit impulse also take the same amount of argument, where A is the starting range, B is the ending range, and C is the shifted value. So as in impulse function, what we need the value of 1 only at a specific point and the values will be zeros elsewhere. So the same code, so for example, if we want to for example, you want to plot impulse function, impulse impulse function impulse function that is del of n for some range, let's say. So the range, let be range, let me give as -7 to +7. Okay, this is the uh, impulse function you want to. You don't want to plot a shifted impulse function, but a simple impulse function between these two ranges, -7 to +7. So just check the function how it will work. So obviously A is equal to -7 and B is equals to +7 and C is equals to 0 because it's not a shifted signal. Okay, so check out. So what is Y? Y will be 0. What is A1 plus C? A1 plus C 7 plus 0 means ultimately we'll have a vector, will have an array of 1 cross 7 where all the elements will be 0 initially. Then there will be sudden shift of the parameter, will have a value 1, and rest from 1 to +7 will be again be 0. So this is the code that I have written. This is the custom function. Okay, and let us check some examples. Yes. See, for the first case, when you want to plot del n for this range, that is -12 to 12. Okay, and as there is no shift in this signal, so we'll put this as 0. Now let's visualize the signal. I think it's very pretty clear that we are getting a value of 1 at n is equals to 0 and it is 0 elsewhere, that is the range that we have chosen, -12 to +12. Now for example, you want to plot the impulse function you want to plot a graph for a shifted impulse function, that is del of n minus 5, and let me change the range. Let me put it as -12, or -12 was there before, so let me put it as -17 to +17. Fine, and it's a shift of 5. Okay, let me do it 7. This is just, you can make changes, you can play with it, you can play with these codes. So A is -17 here and B is +17 and the shift is of 7, means we will get a value of 1 at n is equals to 7, and elsewhere it will be 0. So let me plot this. Yes. So I think it's pretty clear that we are getting a value of 1 at n is equals to 7, and it is 0 everywhere. So you can add labels to make the graph look better, like for example write x label, put it as time, y label, put it as amplitude. Okay, so if we plot this, you can see the symbols, you can see the labeling. This is the time, this is the amplitude. Fine. So at the same, so these are the things that you can plot. So I would like you to try. I would actually, as I will upload the code in the web page, so you can download these codes and then you can use it for experimentation purpose. At the same time, I would like you to plot a number of signals and then understand them, because visualization is very important for understanding the subject. Okay. Okay, so this is done. So we'll study something else. So I have some queries. Uh, do everyone have access to MATLAB? Hello. Okay, fine. I would like every all of you to kindly fill this form. Everyone, I would like you to please fill this form. Fine. So these are some fundamental signals that actually we have understood. We have understood their implementation. We have understood. We have seen them by shifting their values and visualize them in MATLAB. So after signals, let us understand about systems. So what are systems? Systems are entities that convert input signals to output signals. So there are various types of systems. So for example, a very common one, maybe we have an audio system, maybe we have a biosignal acquisition system. For example, maybe we have an ECG system with us, maybe we have an EMG signal system with us. So these are all systems. So systems are actually, what they do is we give some kind of input to them and they convert them to some output signals, and those output signals are actually very important uh, or desirable. So we'll study about various systems. So the first one is a linear system. So what's a linear system? A system which actually follows the principle of both superposition and homogeneity is known as linear system. I think if you check lecture number 1, sir has given a detailed description about them. He has explained the concepts quite well. So as this is our tutorial course, mainly maybe we'll be looking into some numerical problem that will help you in solving the assignment as well. Okay, I think the screen is visible. So this is a very simple numerical where I wanted to identify whether the system that I have taken is a linear one or not linear one. Okay. For example, we have a function where y of t is x of t x of t cube, xt cube. So how can you differentiate a signal is whether a linear one or a non-linear one? So it should follow two principles. First is the principle of superposition. Next is principle of homogeneity. So it should follow both the principles, then only we can infer that it's a linear system. So first, superposition. So what we do is we fed an input x1t to the system. When we feed an input x1t, we have y1t is equals to x1t cube. Now when we have an input x2t, so the output y2t is equals to x2t cube. So the resultant signal, that is y1t plus y2t, is equal to this, that is x1t cube plus x2t cube. Fine. Now for example, when we feed x1t plus x2t together to the system, okay, not individually. Before, what we have done is we have given the inputs individually, but now we give the inputs together, that is x1t and x2t to the system. Y dash t will be equal to x1t cube plus x2t cube. So we can say that y dash t is actually equal to y1t plus y2t. Thus, it follows the principle of superposition. So next we have to check whether the following system follows homogeneity or not. So how can we do it? For example, we have a system and we have an input x of t, and for example, when we feed an input x of t to a system, we have output yt. Now let's multiply a constant k to this output yt. So what we will have, if that is that, we will have k into yt, and k into yt is nothing but k of k into x of t cube. Okay. At the same time, let us do another experiment. The experiment is this way: we have an input x of t and we multiply constant k to this input. Now if we multiply k to this input, we'll have k of x of t. Now let's feed this input to the system, and we will see the output is k x t cube. So ultimately we see that the output is same for both these cases. So we can see the principle of homogeneity is followed. So at the last, we can infer the system that we have taken is actually a linear system. So let us take a couple of examples. Now the problem is a bit different. Before, we had a signal where y of t is equals to x of t whole cube. Now we x of t cube. Now we have a signal or a system where y of t is equals to x square t. Fine. So initially we will follow the same procedure that we have done before. For example, let us put an input x1t to the system. When we give input x1t to the system, we will have y1t, which will be equal to x1 square t. At the same time, when we give input x2t to the system, y2t is equals to x2 square t. Now, for example, what we have done in the previous step, we will follow the same thing. Now what we will do, we will give the summation of input, that is x1t plus x2t together to the system. So at that time, the input, the output y dash t will be equal to x1t plus x2t the whole square. So we know that a plus b whole square is not equal to a square plus b square, but a plus b whole square is equals to a square plus b square plus twice ab. So y dash t is not equal to y1t plus y2t. It is not following the principle of superposition. So we can say that system is actually non-linear. Okay. So these are some couple of examples. I would like you to solve this so as to understand the subject in a better manner. So I would request everyone to kindly note it down. So the first one is yt is equals to sine square x of t, and another problem is y of t is x of t cos t. I would like all of you to kindly solve this problem, and if in case of any doubt, they can either mail me, or obviously we'll meet next Monday again. Okay, so this were all about linear and non-linear system. So the next topic is causal versus non-causal system. So when can we say a system is causal? We can say a system is causal if its output at any instant t depends only on the present and past values but not on the future values. Okay. When can we say a system is non-causal? A system is said to be non-causal when its output at t depends upon future values of the input. So let us take an example. So this the example is y of t is equals to x squared t plus x of t minus 5 plus x of t minus 6. This is a system we have. So obviously x of t is the input and y of t is the output. Now our objective is to check whether this system is causal or not. So the general procedure people they used to do is like they used to take three integer values. Maybe one is 0, one is a negative value, one is a positive value. This is not the rule of thumb, but these are the things what people do for simplicity purpose. Okay, so let's take for t is equals to 0. For if we put t equals to 0, what we will get? If we put 2 equals to 0 in the system that we have, we'll get y of 0 is equals to x squared 0 plus x of minus 5 plus x of minus 6. So what does it mean? It means the output, that is the output at t is equals to 0 is depending on x of t at t equals to 0. It is depending on x of t is equals to at minus 5 and it is depending on minus 6. So the value, so y of t is actually dependent on the present value as well as the past value. Okay. Similarly, if we check for t equals to minus 2, we get this. The y of minus 2 is x square of minus 2, x of minus 7 plus x of minus 8. So here also the same thing. The output depends only on the past values. Okay. The past values and the present value. Similarly, for t equals to 2, we see the same trend. So we can say that in this system, the t depends only on the present and the past value. So it's a causal system. Fine. Now let's have another problem. The problem is y of t is equals to x of t plus 7 plus x square of t. So let us have an input x of t is equals to 0. So t is equals to 0, what we will have? Y of 0 is equals to x of 7 plus x square of 0. Here you see y of t at t is equals to 0. Here we can see x of t at t is equals to uh, here we can see at t equals to 0, the value is actually dependent on the future values. So if it depends on future, we can say that system is not a causal one. Okay, so we don't have to check for more parameters. If we get one parameter when it is not working, so obviously you can directly infer it's a non-causal system. So I So here we have a couple of examples, that is y of t is equals to x of 2t plus 5 and y of t is equals to dxt of dt. So I would request all of you to kindly check these examples and then try it out. And in case of any problem, obviously we'll meet in the next week to check out whether these systems are actually causal or not. Okay, where I have discussed two examples and this is for your homework. So the next topic that we have in systems is time invariant versus time invariant system. So we say that if the input and output characteristics of the system does not change with time, we call the system as time invariant. Okay, it should not change with time, it should be constant with time. Then only we can say it's time invariant. And linear time invariant system are actually very vital and very important in system design. So here I have a simple example on linear time and invariant versus time variant system. So the example is as follows. We have y of t is equals to 10 t cube x of t. Okay. So the output of the system for delayed input, for example, we delay the input by t naught, then y of t comma t naught, it can be written as a function of x of t minus t naught. So what will happen? We'll replace x of t as x of t minus t naught. So we will get as 10 t cube x of t minus t naught. Now let's delay the signal by t naught. Let's delay just the signal by t naught. So y of t minus t naught, at that time it will be equal to y of t at t is equals to t minus t naught. So this is actually equals to 10 of t minus t naught cube x of t minus t naught. So we can see the, for this case, y of t comma t naught is not equal to y of t minus t naught. So the system that we have is actually a time variant system, not a time invariant system. Okay. So these are the two examples, that is y of t is equals to 5 e to the power of sine xt and y of t is equals to xt sine of xt minus 5. I would like you to solve this two problem and find out whether the systems are time invariant or time variant. Okay. Uh, so am I audible to everyone? If anyone has any doubt, can kindly ask me. Or like if you have any suggestions, like uh, how can we make this course a bit more interesting, please, ready, I am ready for your, like, for hearing your suggestions. Matlab, how do you want me to conduct live sessions? Do you want me to focus particularly in coding or particularly in numerical side? Today is the week one, so I gave a glance of both the thing, the coding part and the numerical part. So I want suggestions from you all, like what do you want, like. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So in the next class, in the next week, I can see that we have Fourier series. So maybe we'll solve a couple of problems on Fourier series and Fourier transforms, understand them, understand the concept better, and maybe we'll solve a couple of numericals related to this. I think that's fine, isn't it? If you want me to do something more, I am ready for hearing. I'm ready for your suggestions. Okay. Okay, then fine. Like if you all don't have questions, I think. Hello, ma'am. Yes. Hello. Yes. Yes. Maybe we can try with. Maybe we can. I can give a like brief description about Fourier series. Maybe we can solve some problems, and then maybe we can also look it using MATLAB, isn't it? That will be fine. Okay. So actually that's the week one. So that's the reason I have, like, I touched both. Both were basics, but just I don't want to hyper complicate in the first week itself. So that's the reason I kept the content simple today. It was okay, isn't it? Was it clear? Okay, okay. Okay then. If you have, then we can, I think, wrap up, isn't it? Yes. Actually, yes. No, no. In assignments, MATLAB will not be there. Do you have access to MATLAB? Okay, okay. Uh, for example, the codes that I have used, I think I will actually upload both the codes and the presentation PPT, and I think that will be sent to you. So you can use these codes for your future reference. Okay. No, I understand. So that's the thing I'm telling you. So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to solve more problems, or do you want me to focus on the coding part? That's the suggestion I am asking from you all. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. And when is the last date for submitting this week one assignment? Okay, okay, fine. So actually, initially, I cannot discuss the assignment problems directly. Matlab, I can do it. Matlab, obviously, I can discuss, but I cannot give the full solution. That's the thing I'm saying. It's not that I cannot discuss, because that's an assignment. I cannot give you the solution. I can discuss if you have any problem. Okay. I can give you, like, if you're facing. Yes, yes. That time I can like I can solve the full problem. I have no problem. Yes, yes. It's every Monday 6 to 7. Why the participation is so less actually? That's the thing. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay then, fine. Yes, it will be MCQ based only. Yes. Okay. Okay then. Thank you, everyone.